Welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast.
Tomorrow is opening day.
This morning, didn't have a great hunt. Deer didn't move like usual.
We just got set up in the middle of this bedding thicket. We've been saving this spot from the rut. It's a nice, I think it's a nice buck.
Meh.
Boom! Hits a 170.
That was money. I think he's down right over there, maybe 10 yards.
Whitetail Legacy Podcast, bringing you back to the hunt and leaving a legacy.
Baller rut.
Welcome to the Whitetail Legacy Podcast, coming at you with another legend, Oklahoma potential state record. Pretty much has it, just has to go through the drying period is what they're saying. But that's what I'm saying anyways. But we got to talk with Gunnar Womack tonight. I'm sure you guys seen his buck on social. Killed an absolute giant 8x8 typical buck. They don't get much bigger typical wise. Those two little base kickers really
Yeah,
did some
right?
damage. But let's get into the partners and get into the show. I'm going to start off with the VIP veteran Broadhead. We're all wrapped up with ATA with them. Had a great show. Combat veteran blew some people's minds down
Yeah.
there. We knew it would.
A lot of people inquiring about how the inner workings, you know.
Yeah, how it worked. They wanted to see it. A lot of people were excited about it. We're excited. We got to shoot it this year. Homie edited up a video, and it played down there. A lot of people enjoyed that, showing what it can do. And, it's 100% American-made broadhead. That's the only thing Matt and VIP do. So check it out. You got the VIP veteran broadhead shout-out.
Yeah, this week's VIP veteran broadhead shout out is Josh David. He was in the Army, and we had quite a long discussion. And he said he just wanted everybody to know that he was honorably discharged, and that he wanted to thank us for doing this shout out, and that he was going to check out the show. So I told him I'd tell you.
Nice.
And we appreciate your service, Josh.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. We appreciate it, man. I don't know what exactly you did, but whatever you did, we appreciate it. Letting us do this podcast every Wednesday, and big thank you from us here at Whitetail Legacy, my family, and the VIP family. Let's get into ECW, the outdoor range. I'm excited to shoot out there. He's starting on it, even though it's early season here. It's cold out, early in the year, not early season. I wish it was early season.
That would be cool.
Yeah, early in the year. But yeah, he's starting on it. Excited to get down there and fling some arrows. Have a nice 3D range that we can go to. Hopefully, we can get some VIP access to that. Be going down there and shoot a bunch of different 3D targets right there in Roseville. Not a lot of long jump for us, and get you tuned up for 3D season pretty good. I know
Yeah.
you're wanting to shoot some more 3D, so
I am.
get you more tuned up for that. Ingram's Outdoor Obsession. It's getting closer to turkey season. He's going to be doing full-body turkey mounts. Already got a couple done. He was gluing pig hair on the snood and stuff and painting the heads the other night, and that was pretty neat, man. The detail work that goes into a turkey is a lot different than a deer.
Right.
I could see it being a lot more time-consuming. A lot of feathers to get laid out right, you know what I mean?
I heard they're a pain.
Yeah, I know a little bit about how to mount a deer. I know absolutely nothing about turkeys.
Right.
I don't really want to know. So
Bro, just put it on a butterball.
yeah,
Let's
just
go.
put it whatever I got to do. But yeah, all your taxidermy needs, check him out. Scentlock, still running the late season suit out there, doing good. One thing I will say to that, I ran it all year. I keep going back to that bag, man. Another year of rough treatment in and out of the car. Still holding up, no problems. The ozone machine's been running 2.5 years.
Yeah.
No problem with it. So shout out to them making product that lasts a long time. So let's get in the show. All right, we got Gunnar Womack on the line from Oklahoma. How you doing tonight, man?
Doing pretty good.
All right, like I said, I appreciate you coming on and telling us the story of the 8x8. When I first seen this deer, I was counting. I'm like, man, I gotta double count this thing, make sure it's right. Got a lot going on, and it didn't have even one little kicker point on it, did it?
At the base, over underneath the eye guards, it had a little bit of trash, which was part of the deducted
Oh, did it? Okay. From
Yeah,
the picture I seen, it was angled to the side so you could see all the tines, so you couldn't really see the brows real well. But yeah, pretty epic, man. So give the listeners a brief introduction of who you are and what you do.
Oh, well, my name's Gunnar Womack. I'm an avid outdoorsman. I go to college at Oklahoma State. I'm majoring in turf management, which is like athletic fields, golf courses, stuff like that. I pretty much hunt and fish every day I can, and that's pretty much me.
Nice. So you shot an absolute giant typical. You call it the 8x8, pretty solid name.
Yeah.
A 16-point typical deer is not something that you see every day for sure. So go ahead and just break down the story. You know, when you found him, how you hunted him, how the hunt went, and how after the hunt.
We had history with him for 3 years. He was probably 160-inch deer last year. We put him on hard supplement and stuff, and really hit him hard with other things like that. And we kept watching him. And last year, my dad actually passed him up with a bow. We could have killed him last year, and we decided not to, see what he could become. And we were waiting on him early in the year, trying to get him on camera, trying to figure out, okay, is he back? And we finally got him on camera, and he was like, whoa, okay, yeah, we got to keep this deer quiet. Yeah, we have a lot of hunting pressure around us, and any deer that's any sort of something gets out, then everyone starts hunting fence lines, and it's just no good. And so we were trying to keep this deer really quiet, and I had hunted him pretty hard early in the year. I even had set up a new stand, me and my dad, on this heavily used trail behind our hunting cabin over on the other side of our lake. And it was like, I think 5 trails came together to go to our food plots, and we were setting it up for the rut. We were hoping it'd be something we could sit in all day and get a bunch of deer traffic, and hopefully have him coming behind there, looping around, checking stuff. And that was probably going to be what I hunted real hard if I didn't kill him early in the year. And the day I actually went out, I wasn't going to go. I was like, I got to work, I'm not going to get out there in time. And my buddies were like, come on, man, you just got to get out there. If you can get out there, get out there. And I was like, I bet there's deer in the field. And they were like, if there's deer in the field, pull back. If there's not, get in there. And I was like, you know what, fine. So I get to work, and I weed-eated about 150, 200-yard fence line. And I threw my stuff in the gator and took it back to our shop and drove as fast as I could out there to get ready. And I got out there 5:15 probably, and there was no deer on the field. And I got up in the stand, and about 10, 20 minutes later, 2 bucks come out, 2 little bucks. And they were marching around in the field for a long time, and it was a really quiet night, actually. And they were the only deer that I saw the entire night until right at dark. And right at dark, a bunch of does started coming out, and 2 other bucks came out. One of them happened to be him. And all I had was this tiny shot window, and it was about 40 yards. I was like, I don't know, should I take it? Should I not take it? And as I went to grab my bow and decided I was going to take it, he jogged back in the woods. I was like, dang it, I'm done. I'm hanging it up. Missed my chance. Never going to get it again. But he ended up busting back out at these 2 young bucks. They were with a couple does, and he was like, I'm not having that. He came running out with his head down, got him off there, and he was about 25 yards behind my stand, and I had to maneuver my bow around the tree that split my stand. And when I got it around, I got about mid-draw, and he looked up at me, and I had to sit there mid-draw for, it felt like forever. It wasn't forever, but it felt like forever. And he looked the other way, and I got my full draw back, and I looked up, I looked down my sight, and I kind of knocked it, and I looked up, I looked down my sight, and I let it go, and I knew I hit him solid because I heard a big slap, and he ran probably 20 yards and died in the middle of our brush hogged road, our food plot. And he dropped, and I probably sat in the stand for probably 30 minutes and stared at him because I didn't have another I had another arrow, but it had a practice tip on it because I had shot hogs the night before, and I just forgot to reload on my broadheads, and that was the only broadhead I had that wasn't a practice tip. And I mean, if he would have tried to get up when I went down there, I was going to try to just start aiming for the head or something.
Yeah, whatever you got to do.
Whatever it takes, this sucker's going down. Like, I had a knife back in the truck. I could just run as fast as I could, but he was hurting as soon as I hit him. And he dropped, and he kind of had his head up. And when he dropped it, I was kind of like, oh my gosh, what did I do? I know exactly what deer this is. Like, we know I didn't quite know he was like a state record or anything like that at the time, but we knew he was really big, and we knew he'd probably get a little bit of attention, but we didn't quite understand the amount of attention he would require. And I started trying to call my dad, and he wouldn't answer, of course, because he never answers when I need him the most. So I was like, I called my mom. I was like, okay, where's Dad? And they're like, I don't know what's happening. I said, I killed that deer. And they're like, oh my gosh, you killed that deer. I was like, yeah, I killed that deer. And they're like, okay, we'll try to get a hold of him. And when I hung up, I called my 2 hunting buddies, which were hunting probably a mile away on their own places. And the first one I called, he was just now getting out, so he was kind of whispering. He was like, what's up? You know? It's like, I killed him. I dropped him. He's like, you dropped what? And I said 8x8. And he goes, oh, cool. He thought I said we have a big 8-pointer, like a really big, about 140 8-point. He thought I killed the 8-point. And he goes, oh, cool, great. And I was like, dang, that wasn't the reaction I thought I was going to get. But he hung up, and he said, okay, I'll be there in a bit. And he hung up. I called my other buddy, and he was like, what's up? I just got back to Taylor's house. He said, what's up? And I said, I dropped him. He said, which one did you drop? I said, the 8x8. And he just screamed so loud. He's like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. He said, I'll be there as fast as I can. And I just heard a bunch of rumbling and bumbling, and then he turned on his 4-wheeler and hung up. And let's just say he got there in his 4-wheeler right behind my buddy with his car. So he drove probably 40 in the 4-wheeler to get down the dirt road and get there. And they drive down the road, and as soon as the first buddy I called, Taylor Smith, he opened the door. He said, that's not the 8x8. It's not the 8-point. What are you talking about? I said, I told you 8x8. And by that time, I almost get tackled to the ground by Tanner. He's like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. You know, like he comes and he like full on almost form tackles me to the ground. He's so happy. And it was just like one of those things where we were kind of like all in awe at the same time, because they were like, oh my gosh, this is something special maybe. And like he's in the middle of this food plot, so we ended up getting a bunch of pretty good pictures. Those were the pictures that you guys saw, all the pictures in the middle of our food plot there. He was actually in the middle of our brush-hogged road, and we brought it back to the house, took a few more pictures, and we cleaned him up. And our neighbor has a skinning pole, so we went over there, and he walked up and he said, oh my gosh. We were like, what? We know it's a pretty big deal. And he was like, that's like, he said, you got a lawyer yet? And I was like, no. What do you mean? I was like, what do you mean? He said, that's going to be maybe a record, buddy. And I was like, you think so? And I mean, I kind of shrugged it off. And then when I posted it on Facebook and stuff, I was like, I'll probably get a few reactions from my friends, my family. It'll be a cool thing, you know. And then I wake up to 500 new friends on Facebook. I was like, whoa, okay. That's pretty cool. And I get all these messages on the Facebook Messenger thing saying, oh my gosh, that's a giant yada yada. These people from Canada saying I'm rooting for that Hanson or whatever. And like, oh, I didn't know it was that big. But and it was just, the whole thing was super cool how it happened. I almost didn't go, and then how he ran like 20 yards. And it was even cooler that my buddies got to come help me pull him out and take pictures and stuff. And it was just a neat experience all around.
Yeah, man, you can't beat that. This goes to show you, man, you're running late, don't know if you're going to go to the stand or not, and get in there and he comes out, you know, you got, couple hours to dark. You're like, man, I'm not going to see anything, and then you have the best hunt of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It can happen any moment. You just got to be out there in the stand. And, you know, did you said that you had him on a lot of the trail cams on, the routes going to this food. Did you have him on this food plot a lot?
Not really. I mean, we had him a couple times. His favorite place was we had this camera set up back in the woods, kind of close to our hunting cabin, because he feels safe back there. That's where a bunch of our bigger deer like to hang out over there. They feel kind of safe back in the woods right next to that food plot because they usually hit it and then come to the food plot when it's dark usually. So we have a few corn feeders, supplement feeders across the whole thing just to get, camera pictures on. And one of his favorite spots was back in the woods back in there, close to that food plot. The crazy thing is our land is separated. It's about 120 acres and it's separated half and half pretty much with this big flood control water. It's this big watershed. And a lot of our deer different from both sides. We have a herd of does on one side, herd of does on the other side, and a lot of them are different. And a lot of the bucks are different. But he kind of ran both sides. We have a couple deer that go back and forth, but he kind of ran both sides. Got him everywhere, really. We had, I think, 3 to 4 trail cam picks. Took the 3 to 4 trail cameras out, and he hit every one of them, like, almost every night. He made his rounds. He was definitely the dominant in there by far. And nothing really messed with him, so he ran both sides. And so it was kind of a toss-up where you really wanted to go hunting. That was his favorite spot, is on that top, we felt like. But he's shown up everywhere, so it wasn't like we just had him completely patterned. He was a very social deer because our neighbors that had pictures of him, a couple of them, which that made us nervous. We gotta get this dude down before they do, but they had a couple pictures of him, and this other guy actually sent me pictures, and he had some of him, which it was cool. He's about a mile away. He had pictures of him, and he was a very social deer, and he was everywhere really. So, yeah.
You just wonder how many deer he come into contact with and could have fought and broke a tine or two.
God.
So many tines,
Yeah.
That's what he did last year. Actually, he got broke up. That was what made it easy for us to pass him. We were like, okay, he's all broke up. We kind of figured out a supplement program. We had a couple deer. He grew a bunch. He was a 160-inch deer last year. And
So was he a 7x7 last year or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't even know what G that would be. I was gonna say he put another G9 on.
G6,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. Passed him as do you think he was a 4-year-old or?
We think he was 4 this year. Yeah, is what we're thinking.
So passed a 7x7, even with him being broke up at 160. I'm not really keen on the class of deer, but I'm assuming a 160 is a good buck anywhere. So, what is kind of a good run of the mill buck for Oklahoma?
If you really hunt hard, you can get. 150, 160 is solid deer. We do have a 170s, 180s. If you hunt hard and you're good at your craft and you manage your deer, you can get 170s, 180s consistently. But they're hard to kill, harder. And then, of course, everywhere 200, 190, 200-inch deer's giant. So it's giant typical anyway. But 150, 160-inch deer is solid deer here.
Yeah,
really
it's pretty much the same thing for us as it is down there. So do you have much ag around you, or is it?
Yeah. We do. We have some milo fields, wheat fields, corn fields, bean, alfalfa.
Nice.
We hunt the Black Bear Creek pretty hard. We have a creek that runs through one of our leases. This didn't happen to be on the Black Bear where we killed this one, but we hunt some river bottoms and stuff here.
Nice. Yeah, most of the time when you get on the river bottom anywhere, there's some ag close to it and makes the deer a little bit better. So So after you get the deer down, your neighbor's telling you that you might have a potential world record. So kind of go into the process of that. What'd you do after that?
After we kind of figured out it was going to be a potential world record and stuff is what you're asking?
Yeah.
We kind of took it slow. People approached us. We weren't gonna just. We were waiting to see. We were trying to get a green score on him, and if the green score was close, Dad was like, "Okay, we're gonna get in contact with the lawyer here." If barring something crazy, he's going to be the Oklahoma archery state record and possibly the overall Oklahoma record. But we kind of took it slow. We weren't really looking for money or anything. Like, if a guy's gonna say, "Hey, we'll pay you," we're not gonna say, "No, don't pay us." But we weren't gonna be like, "Hey, for this story, we want such and such amount of money to sell our story." We weren't gonna do that. I mean, we felt like this story deserved to be told, deserved to be told without any, I don't know, any incentive.
I get what you're saying. You did it right, man. You kill a giant deer like that. You got, like you said, you had 500 friends requests. You got thousands and thousands of people wondering, what the story is. And you don't see deer like that. You see a deer with trash and they're giant and insane, but you don't see deer that are just insanely typical and 8x8. I mean, that's insane in general. So,
yeah, it was certainly very crazy. Dad would joke to people, would be like, "Yeah, we got a state record on camera," and they'd be like, "Yeah, you're funny." He's like, "Yeah." It's like, yeah, I'm funny, aren't I? As soon as that deer dropped, he called his best friend, and his best friend came over, and he was like, "You weren't lying, were you?" And he said, "No, I wasn't." You just
I told you, man. So
yeah,
that's pretty awesome, man. I mean, to shoot a state record and to do it on a family farm, your dad passing the year before, that's pretty. I don't know how you top that, but what did he end up? Did you score him that night or anything like that, or?
No, I mean, Dad did a reculator on him, and he grossed him 207. I think was his best one. He got was 214. He had him around 207 average gross, and he ended up grossing 209 with the game warden who scored him, but he ended up netting like 192, 193.
Nice.
In there because of deductions.
Yeah, man, that's insane though. 190 net. That's incredible for as typical frame as you got. And like you said, you had them base kickers, but really didn't have anything.
Oh no,
at all going on. Just tying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember how wide he was?
I can go look at the score sheet. I remember both main beams were one main beam was 26. The other was 24, 16, and 2/8.
I was saying, it didn't look very wide from the pictures.
Yeah, 16 2/8. Yeah, that's pretty tight, man. I think it makes him look bigger when he's tight like that. He's just got them tall, towering tines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine finding a 7x7 shed. That'd be insane. So.
Yeah, I know. We looked. We were like, okay, this would be cool if we killed him and we had his sheds from last year and stuff like that. But we didn't end up finding it. But
well, props to your dad, man, for sure, for passing him last year as a 160. You know what I mean? It's crazy what a deer can do in a year. And like you said, we hear that a lot. You get a mineral program going that works out, and you can grow these deer, and then they just genetically from 3 to 4, they're going to take a big jump anyways. So that I don't think I would have passed him at 160. You know what I mean? But then you wouldn't have a potential state record on your hand. You know what I mean? So just goes to show you what a pass could do. So props to your dad, man. That's pretty awesome. And then to have I'm sure he was hunting the deer too. So to have his kid kill it, I guess it's better than the neighbors, But that's got to be pretty cool.
He doesn't shoot anything like that, dude. That deer's got to be a state record, or it's got to be older. He said, "I've been around the block, son. I've killed many deer." He said, I can pass them. You can kill them if you want.
Nice. Well, that's good. Yeah.
Pretty solid dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you can only take out so many, so you got to step it up sometime. I'm still at the mark where if it's decent, it's dead.
Yeah.
So.
His favorite thing is supplementing them and going through that whole thing. And he likes seeing how big he could get them because that's his thing. Like, hey Gunner, look at the percent growth this guy has. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, Dad. He's like, yeah.
Hey,
Said,
Dad, you grow him, I'll shoot him.
Yeah, you grow him, I'll shoot him. So
Yeah. Yeah, he works really hard. I help him, but he obviously works harder than me at it because he loves it. So
yeah, that's cool, man. Growing deer, that's something that we can't do here in Illinois, but I could see how it could get addictive.
Oh, yeah.
You start seeing some growth, and you start getting a relationship with them, and it's just like growing a big show pig. You're like, try to get this thing as big as I can, then go in there and get after him. So,
yeah.
I mean, you killed it on a 120-acre piece, and it's not like you'd think Oklahoma, you just don't, in my mind, you don't see that coming out of Oklahoma. But, I mean, I've been surprised here recently. There's been giant deer killed absolutely everywhere. So,
Yeah.
a lot of people say the minerals ain't doing much, but they got to be doing something. Like Ohio's just pumping out giants, Oklahoma, everywhere that can feed and mineral heavy is starting to kill some absolute giant deer. So.
Yeah. We got 2 on camera. We're going to have that 8-point that didn't get killed this year. Got a couple more days, man. Just got a couple more days and I'll live.
Like,
Same thing with our other deer. We got one that's probably going to be 190 inches next year, and we have another one that's got a 150-inch 8-point.
wow.
Probably pumping out next year. If they do anywhere close to what this 8x8 did, that's
Yeah.
what we're thinking. So
Wow. Man, that's something to look forward to for sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got the state record down, so now, I mean, I don't know what else you do.
Yeah.
Just keep killing big deer, I guess. You can't top. I mean, I guess you could top your own record. That would be pretty sweet.
That would be sweet.
yeah, that would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that'd be super sick.
That's what my neighbor said right after that. He said, "Well, you got nothing to look forward to now, really." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, I can go. We're going to Colorado this October. We're gonna go on a mule deer elk hunt with our hunting group, and that'll be fun. We're gonna do other things, so it'll be cool.
Oh yeah, mule deer. That's elk. Neither, but we haven't killed either of those. That's something that we want to do someday. But yeah, that'd definitely break the monotony of you just killed a state record. Might as well go do something else epic.
Yeah.
It's kind of I killed a giant last year, and it'll kind of ruin you if you kill like a 140. You'll be jacked, but you'll be like, man, you're never gonna have that same experience of walking up on that thing like, holy crap, what did I just do? What just happened? So.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that was really cool is like most guys get to call their buddies and be like, hey, I just shot at this deer. I think I hit him pretty good.
Yeah.
But like he's in the tree looking at the deer and be like, hey, man, he's down.
Yeah, he's down. Like,
Yeah.
I got him. He's down. So.
I think by the time I got a hold of my buddies, I was sitting there laying next to him, because I was just like, oh, don't get up, please.
Please just stay
Just
there.
laying your body on him like, all right, this thing isn't
Yeah.
moving. He's down.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Not to have to track him or anything. That's dropping in 20 yards. You can't ask for anything better than that.
Yeah.
Didn't break a tine on the way down.
Yeah.
That would have sucked. I would have had my buddy who's a taxidermist just start gluing.
Yeah. Glue this back together for me.
So with all this attention and everything that's come with this deer, what's been like the most bizarre thing that's happened?
I don't know. Bizarre. I got a call from Boone Crockett. That was cool. I've gotten some people like tell me that this deer came from Kansas, that off of a ranch that they work at. Like, this guy told me that this deer escaped from his high fence ranch, and I just happened to kill it in Oklahoma. I said, you need to get off the drugs, buddy. This is not-
This deer just ran, few hundred miles and down to my little piece. So
Yeah, we've had people say, yeah, we went by that. He said, people try to defend me, and they're like, no, that was definitely killed in Oklahoma, because I drove by their land on the highway the other day, and I'm like, bro, there's no highway going by our land. Like, thanks for trying.
yeah, I can see. I couldn't imagine the amount of people that start talking crap when you got a deer of that caliber and that size. But it doesn't look like you and your friends are. You run. You guys started Outdoor Defiance. Is that correct?
Yeah, we started it in October. We've been trying to start it couple years now, but we just kind of got it going this October.
Yeah, it looks like all you guys are crushing really solid deer down there. So you guys aren't it looks like you know your way around some giant deer, but in this case, that thing is just a
Yeah.
freak of nature. And I mean, so you're in college. What are you? 22, 23?
I'm 18.
Oh, 18? Holy
Yeah.
smokes! My college
Yeah.
dates are all mixed up. Man,
Well, I'm a
18.
freshman, so-
Yeah, 18. Wow. Okay, so. Man, you got
That's
a
right.
long ways to hunt. And I hope you kill one bigger, man. But I don't know if you might be able to kill
Yeah.
one bigger, but more typical, you might as well just throw
Yeah.
the towel in on that. But
Yeah, I actually turned 19 the 7th.
nice. Well,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
dropping studs that young.
Yeah.
I think I did see that in that newspaper article. You were in your local newspaper and it said 18-year-old. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. So
Yeah.
man, epic. That's how it happens, man. It's those
when you
hunts where-
least expect
when
it.
you least expect it, you got that deer, and you're just going out there.
Oh, I'm just gonna go sit on the edge,
Yeah.
just
Hunt this
hang
food
out,
plot
yeah.
that I don't really get them on a lot. I'm running
Yeah.
late, and
And they had to talk me into hunting this spot actually, because I was gung ho going to the back to the third food plot we have. I was gonna go trek to the back because I just had a feeling, and they were like, "Dude, where do you see him the most?" Top field, and they were like, "Well, why would you go there?" I said, "Well, I just had a feeling. I just got a feeling." They're like, "Go to the top field." It's like, whatever. I said, "If I don't kill him, it's on you guys." And guess what? I killed him. So
yeah. Well, man, I've read quite a bit of the articles that you've been in, and I just want to give you a good shout out that it hasn't went to your head. You're still just a kid in college. Still weed whacking. I mean, just doing your thing, and
yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people that kill this deer and they're automatically the best deer hunter in the world, and
Yeah.
and then they're wanting
Yeah.
money to share the story instead of coming on some podunk podcast like ours. You know what I mean? So, I appreciate you being humble about it, and and sharing the story and doing the right thing. And I know that you're trying to promote younger hunters getting back into hunting, and that's something that we need right now. And I know that's kind of the Outdoor Defiance's passion to do. So shout out to you for doing that. This is a good way for you to get this momentum behind. Okay, yeah, I have, you get the connection of, oh, this guy's got the Oklahoma State record, and then you can start talking about deer hunt them and motivate them to get out there and try it yourself. So
Yeah, our team's pretty cool. Like how we do our stuff. We got a guy from Tennessee whose thing is bass fishing. He's a college bass fisherman, and that's all he does. He's duck hunting with us now. He's been here for 2 weeks duck hunting with us, and his big thing is bass fishing. He's trying to go pro. That'll be cool. We got a guy in Colorado who's knocked down a pretty big elk this year, and we're gonna go to Colorado this summer actually and go trout fish some alpine lakes and streams and stuff with him. We're gonna have footage of that, and we have the other two guys that are here, and I mean it's just cool what we're trying to do. We're gonna open up, I think, a questions forum here pretty quick, so people can ask us different questions, and we're gonna answer different questions about hunting and fishing and stuff. And I like how most of our, not most, all of our stuff really revolves around, God and Christ and stuff, and we're trying to promote that too, and that's a big part of who we are as people too. So
yeah, props to you, man. Always do you. Once you start doing stuff that you don't think you would like, or that's when it becomes not fun, and you just don't feel right about it. We've talked about having people on the podcast, and we're like, it's not us. We
Yeah.
wouldn't feel right doing it. That's not what we want to do, not what we want to promote. So,
But just the most important thing is, like, you guys have started. Like, that was like, we wish we would have started sooner, and then if we did start sooner, it'd been, oh well, we should have done it before that.
Yeah.
But the main thing is you guys are actually doing it, and it's up and going, and you can't say, well, I wish I'd have done it sooner. I mean, you're 18, you got forever, and
yeah.
It'd be cool if we were doing this for like 4 or 5 years more, but a lot of people talk about doing something and they wish they did or wish to be a part of something, but you just got to go out there and do it yourself.
Yep. So I read one article, and it was talking about the base trash making a huge difference. Can you go into that a little bit How much of a difference did that make with being the record? Do you know yet or no?
We don't officially know. We're going to get the official score after the dry period later. I think in the next couple weeks we are. But if he did not have that trash there, he would blow out the Oklahoma overall record.
Wow, man.
That's basically the only thing. Like, Dad was like, dang it, we should have chiseled it. Yeah, we should have probably.
You got
done
any
that.
supplements that makes them not grow base trash? Because I need that in my life.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I read that, and I was like, man, just a couple inches to – because once you're up there in the big leads, you might as well win it all, right? You might as well be top dog, and you got to think, man, just a couple base trash is preventing it. But
What is the state record down there right now?
Oh, the overall, which has gun and everything, is like 193 and 3/8, I think. And he ended up grossing like 192 and 6/8.
Oh.
And it's those deductions right there, really. They two of them were over an inch. And that's
huge.
Without
Yeah,
the-
you blew it
without-
out. Yeah.
I would say, yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy. Like when you get to that level and you're like, oh yeah, it would have smoked it, but really it was like 4 inches. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
4
Yeah,
inches
yeah.
on a deer is a lot.
Yeah, 4 inches when you get that big, it's an absolute blowout. You
Yeah.
know, like because some of the records are beat by like an eighth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Besides like the world record that was killed, that beat it. That's just disgustingly. He just crushed that. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was like 17 inches or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. So
Yeah. I had to tell myself before he got scored, I was like, man, I can't be disappointed if he doesn't get the record. Like, this deer's amazing. He's great. So I was like talking to my parents. I was like, it'd be cool if he was the record, but I mean, it'd just be cool, something we could promote our group with, and it'd just be cool because, I just happened to kill a record. I mean, it'd be cool, but if it didn't happen, I told myself, I'm gonna be super happy because, he's such a great deer, and he's already got publicity about it. And I already have a platform, sort of, to kind of share my story and stuff and share it positively. And a bunch of this gave hunting a very positive outlook, I guess. Kind of brought people together, which was super cool, too. I love to see that.
yeah, like I said, you did it right. You're not out there. You're not bashing anything. You're not saying, I killed it because of this or I killed it because of this. You're just a kid that killed a giant deer, doing it your way, talking about, Christ, talking about what you believe in, and not selling out to, everybody saying, oh, I killed it because I had this product or, this and that. So I respect you for that, man. I know that a lot of big deer have been killed, and then it comes out a little while later that you can't hear the story because they've sold it to North American Whitetail or something, you know what I mean? So
yeah, we said if we're gonna get money, it's gonna be someone wanting a replica or something. And if they don't, it's whatever. I got a cool story and I can tell it forever.
heck yeah, you got it the rest of your life. Didn't to say, yeah, I got the Oklahoma State record. What's up, man?
Yeah.
Killed it with a bow at 20, 25 yards. It's not a big deal. So, well, man, we appreciate you coming on and telling your story. I know that we did it quick, but I'm glad that you let this story out. Like I keep saying, it's an absolute epic giant buck, and I don't know what else to say besides
Still some unfinished business to see where it's going to land.
Yeah, and I will be looking out to see kind of what happens to you and be following your post and hopefully you get it, man. It sounds like you got a good chance, but we're rooting for you, man.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you keep doing you, keep being true to yourself, and keep growing that page, and don't let anybody call you out. As when we first started, man, we got all kinds of comments, and just keep going, and then you'll be surprised on how it grows and who you meet and the connections you make and how much fun that you have if you keep doing what you want to do. It'll be a good thing to do in your life is just keep growing it and meet people and have fun and promote hunting.
Yeah. I'm excited to see where it goes. I really am.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that story. We cut it kind of short. We had another guy coming on. He had some stuff to do, so we wrapped it up quick. They don't get much bigger than that, typical-wise. You're talking potential state record. Him being humble about it, super nice kid. I'm glad that he came on and got to share his story. I know he's wanting to get it out there. Like I said, his team, they're dropping some really nice deer for their age, so it'd be cool to follow them and see what they do throughout their years. And just another page out there promoting hunting in a good way. So you guys do a solid for us. Hit that subscribe button on the podcast. Keep hitting that play button. That season's probably wrapped up for you, but start thinking about them sheds, man. Get the kids out there, find them sheds. They absolutely love that. They can be loud. They can run around. You ain't got to worry about scent, whatever. Just get out there and find some sheds, leave a legacy, and Whitetail Legacy's out.